All right, welcome to the last edition of the Houston High School Huddle. Me and Stepp here. We talked to you back in August, and now we're, 16, 17 weeks later, and we're about ready to finish this deal.
Kind of sad. I'm a little sad.
It is kind of sad. I don't need no teary eyes over there. Please.
We are.
Okay, you're good. You ain't going to miss me that much.
If you had a Houston basketball podcast, I'm sure it'd be a good one. I'm sure it's a lot of great basketball, a lot of great hoops played in the Houston area.
That is true. There is some good hoops. If they all don't leave to academies, it'd be great hoops, but we'll just go with good right now.
You just stay at your high school.
Exactly. All right, well, we're at state championship week. We're going to talk about the state championship games, especially the ones with our three DFW teams in it. Three Houston teams in it.
Come on.
I get myself together. 3 Houston teams in it. Come on now. I was thinking of it because it's Houston versus DFW day on Saturday, so I got both of them on my mind right now. But let's talk about this because I went into the state semis thinking, man, Randle's going to make it, and then maybe hopefully one of the other two makes it, and then we'll have a happy little 2 teams to maybe I'll grab Port Arthur Memorial if they went in there. But to have them all 3 go through and the way C.E. King played at night, man, I tell you what, that speed on that team really showed out at Baylor.
Yeah, I was at the game Saturday night at Baylor, and I was telling Greg Tepper this, man. Rice got an absolute steal with Deion Sims. He's unbelievable, man. He is so – the lateral quickness
and he came in late on him. He was at Stephen Boston for a while.
Tremendous get for Rice. And Timothy Potts had a great game, and he was really the star of the show. He was in complete command of that offense Saturday night. And Vandergrift, they dominated the defending state champs. It was not a contest. And so if C.E. King plays like that, they can beat anybody in the state. They were on one Saturday, and I'm excited for that finale Saturday night against DeSoto.
Well, there's another dominant team down there at Thorne Stadium with North Shore. They dominated on the defensive end. They couldn't get Lake Travis couldn't get anything going there.
Yeah, Lake Travis's offense. I kind of said it last week. I thought Lake Travis's offense was going to struggle against North Shore. Their speed, their physicality. Zaquan Nunn in the middle of that defense, outstanding. The game really flipped when it was 7-3 North Shore. Lake Travis jumped out 3-0 early. North Shore goes down and gets a Caleb Maryland touchdown run. Makes it 7-3. Then the North Shore defense comes up with a sack, and a fumble recovery down around the 2-yard line. That really flipped the game on its head. And they took a 13-3 lead and really cruised from there. And North Shore kind of left some points on the board. I know they had a wide open drop touchdown in the second quarter. They could have put it away by halftime, but just a dominant performance from North Shore. And Willie Gaston's ball club, they're playing their best football at the right time. That's what you want to see. You look at it, 3 of the last 4 weeks, North Shore's beaten an undefeated football team.
Right.
Ridge Point, Dickinson, Lake Travis, 3 out of the last 4 weeks. That's impressive stuff. That's
wild. And then, by the way, that transfer portal worked out well for North Shore with Zaquan Nunn. You brought that up, and he comes from clear. And he takes up 2 spots. He takes up 2 blockers, if you can even if even those 2 guys can even block him, and that leaves it open for everybody else. What about Richmond Randle? They had an impressive score, but was it an impressive win for them, do you think?
If you're a glass half full guy, you're like, hey, Randle's red zone defense, elite, got stops when it counted, made plays. If you're a glass half empty guy, you're like, man, but Bernie got down to the 1-yard line like 3 times. It came away with 0 points. They can't do that this week against South Oak Cliff. They're going to have to play better on the defensive side of the ball. Offense was there. Obviously, Skrabonic had a nice game. Landon Williams-Callis did Landon Williams-Callis things. If I'm a Randle fan, I have some concerns about how the defense played last week, though. They gave up some stuff against Bernie. Bernie wasn't able to capitalize on it. South Oak Cliff will capitalize on it.
Yeah, and I think they're probably going to clear up that special teams issues they had in the last state final. But let's get into these games, man. Let's start off at 6A Division I, where we got North Shore, Duncanville, 6-time in the last 8 years. Duncanville won the last 2. Or Duncanville's won 2 of them, and North Shore's won 3 of them. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on this one? They're both playing really good football. I feel on the Duncanville side, though, they're still missing a quarterback. So all their plays are sweeps. I'm seeing sweeps and going, and at one point they're going to work. North Shore, do they have the speed to stop those sweeps? Because I don't think Allen did.
Yes, I think North Shore does. North Shore, 2 things North Shore's defenses always do well. They're fast, they're physical, and they tackle well in space. You have to tackle in space against Duncanville because of how they operate their offense. This is a very limited Duncanville offense. That they're not super explosive. They're not super dynamic. They're playing with the backup quarterback. They've got some really good receivers, but they have to manufacture ways to get the ball to them. They have to manufacture a running game, which credit to their offensive staff, their offensive coordinator, Jason Lavender, and that staff have done a good job kind of scheming up ways to get a running game. It's going to be a lot tougher this week because North Shore, they're a team that can run with Duncanville. They've shown it in the past. We know what North Shore can do. We know they play physical. We know they tackle well. So it's really about this game. And on the flip side, the offensive side of the ball for North Shore, the money matchup here, that elite Duncanville defensive line with KJ Ford committed to Florida, Landon Barnes committed to Ole Miss. They got 2 game records at defensive tackle. Can North Shore's North Shore's still got a big offensive line. Can they block Duncanville? When Duncanville's beaten North Shore, it's because a lot of it had to do with Caden Durham and Tacorian Moore and Keelan Russell, but they also couldn't block Duncanville's defensive line. They struggled big time. That's the key matchup here.
Simmons got him a lot in that.
Yeah. So that's the key matchup here. Who wins that battle? So the difference maker could be Caleb Maryland. I think North Shore has a big edge at quarterback here with Caleb Maryland.
That's 2 checks on the advantage thing.
Big edge for Caleb Maryland here. So those are going to be your money matchups here. I think this is going to be a rock fight, a low scoring, very similar to the 2021 game.
The Amador one where Amador was the quarterback?
No, the one when Caleb Bailey's freshman year.
Okay. It was 17-7, right? Something like
17-10. 17. Amador caught the game-winning touchdown.
There you go. Yeah, you're right.
I think it's going to be a 17-10, 20-17 kind of football game. Physical, low scoring. Points are going to be at a premium. I picked Duncanville just because I think Duncanville's defense is so good that when it comes to crunch time, and North Shore's offensive line, they're big, but they worry me against that really explosive Duncanville D line. That's now Caleb Maryland is going to have to make plays with his feet. If he makes plays with his feet and hurts Duncanville with his feet, then I think advantage North Shore. But I think that's the key. I'm leaning to Duncanville here, but this is a pick'em game in my opinion.
Right. That's wild. The DFW podcast, they picked my expert picked North Shore, and my Houston podcast, the expert picked Duncanville. So
I think that just shows how much of a pick'em game it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a coin flip football game.
Don't know what's going to happen. I think I know what's going to happen in this tip. I think we're going to see 40, 50, 60 points, and I think this thing's going to last well past 10 o'clock, probably 10:30.
Get your track shoes ready for this game,
Exactly.
y'all. This is going to be a track meet, 2 explosive offenses. We talked about CE King and how good they looked last week. DeSoto played one of the games of the year last week, upsetting South Lake Carroll in a classic football game.
Down 16 points in that one too.
They were down 16 twice and came back and won. They stayed the court. They made their defense got shredded, but yet they came up with huge plays. DeSoto scored 43 points in the second half. They ended the game with 758 yards of offense. Sarad Baker,
you got the numbers. 1,500 yards and what is it,
Yeah.
like 1,500 yards and 19 or 17 touchdowns, something like that, in 5 games.
He is a guy. It's like Novocaine. Give it time, it'll start wearing on you. He is a big physical running back who wears on you as the game goes along. He's hard to tackle in the fourth quarter. This is going to be a game. I think whichever defense can come up with a stop gets the win here. I don't see either defense slowing either offense down very much. DeSoto's defense has been shaky, especially against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what CE King does? They run the dang ball.
And I think that's going to give them a little bit more of advantage than Southlake had, because Booby Feaster shut down Brock Boyd. He wasn't a factor at all in that game. And he sacrificed his receiving for his defense, which is pretty cool. But the way CE King plays, it's like
he's going to have to tackle this week.
Exactly. You're going to have to tackle. You're going to have to run fast and stay running fast, because Dylan Mitchell and Sims and Potts are going to get you.
Yeah, there's so I think this is literally, I might think the over-under on this game is like close to 100. Like it's going to be first one to 45 wins this football game. It's going to come down to defense. It's a Houston podcast. I picked DeSoto. I picked DeSoto's defense a little bit more because they made a couple of plays against Southlake last week to get off the field and make some plays. It's a different type of challenge against CE King. I also think that the stage here, CE King, first time, and I thought the stage might get to him last week, and it didn't. They were composed, they were poised at Baylor against the defending state champs. They looked comfortable. Now you're traveling. Now it's good that CE King got on the road last week and won because they got to go on the road even further this week. They're in AT&T Stadium, the biggest stadium in Texas, the nicest stadium in Texas, the biggest stage you can have. DeSoto, these seniors were a part of that state championship team as sophomores. Their coaching staff's been here. Now Corey Laxton's coached in the state championship games. So he's at North Shore, but he's not as a head coach. Claude Mathis has 2 state championships under his belt. That's a big advantage. That's an edge for DeSoto. I think the stage is the key here. I like DeSoto in a close one. It's going to be a shootout, though. But when you get to these shootouts, anything can happen. I favor both Dallas teams, but it wouldn't shock me if it was a Houston sweep. Like these games are close.
It's wild. Maybe CE King just didn't know any better. I mean, they don't because they've never been here, but maybe they can play off of that.
Our computer has this game as a pick 'em.
Yeah.
Like a total toss up. If
one team gets 2 turnovers or their team turns the ball over twice, then the other team wins the thing, I think. But it's wild, man, because you look at Southlake in DeSoto game, that ending play where they got stopped at the 1 yard line, they first called a touchdown. The first thing I saw with my right eye is Riley Dodge running up with the 2 fingers up. We're going for 2. He wanted nothing to do with playing any more football with DeSoto. He wanted the thing to end or win on a 2-point conversion. I think that's the key here. See, you can get this thing. If there's a chance to take a little bit of a risk, I'd take it. I don't know where it is with the risk, whether it's an untimed blitz or a blitz we don't expect it to run or something like that to give you a little bit of an advantage. I might take it.
It's a state championship game. Like let it all hang out at this point.
Yeah. All right, 5A Division II. We're going to skip to Division II because that's our Houston team. It's a rematch of last year. Richmond, Randle, South Oak Cliff. South Oak Cliff is on a mission. My podcast over there at DFW, our guy Diggs, he was talking about he gives Sock the advantage because he thinks Randle didn't schedule well enough in the preseason. And I was trying to tell him, I said that the team's only 3 years old. He didn't know what he had. He's just trying to get he's trying to get the schedule. He'll change it, I'm sure, for the next realignment here. But I think they'll have something for Landon Williams Kyles. They kind of had something for him last year. It's just it was the special teams that did it, man. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so Williams Kyles last year in this game wasn't 100% healthy, so we know that. So he's a year older. He's better this year, right? Which is crazy to say, but he's even better this year. But yeah. I think Sock's better this year. And Sock's going to employ the Bill Belichick theory, right? They're going to say, we are going to take away your favorite thing and make somebody else beat us. And that's what they did last year. Landon Williams Kyles, he had 100 yards, but he had like 30 carries. Like he had to work for it. He had the one big run, but got called back. There'll be a similar strategy this year. Last year, Keelan Sweeney was able to beat them, and they got the special teams turnovers. South Oak Cliff is going to say, Tyler Skrbonek, we are going to make you beat us. If he beats them, then I think they tip their cap and they say, hey, we got beat today. But they're not going to let Landon Williams Kyles beat them. And they have the defense to do it. So, and the thing is, South Oak Cliff has the secondary. They got 3 or 4 D1 guys back there. They can match up. They can go 8 in the box and go man mano a mano in the secondary and be just fine. South Oak Cliff team is different. They beat North Shore. They beat Longview. They lost to Duncanville by 7 early in the year. Like, this is a really special football team they have. And then you got the revenge narrative, right? South Oak Cliff last year, we saw what they did to P&G on the revenge narrative. It was ugly. Yeah. They are going to be laser focused here. And the other thing is Randall's defense is really, really good, but South Oak Cliff's offensive line, I think, might be just better. Like I just think this is a South Oak Cliff year, and I think the Golden Bears get their lick back in this one. I think unless now if Landon Williams Kyles goes off and has one of those Landon Williams Kyles games, all bets are off. But I think South Oak Cliff slows them down enough, and I think what will happen is eventually the dam breaks and Randle just can't get stopped. They can't get off the field against that Sock ground game. And here's the thing: Sock throws it all. Their Achilles heel last year was the passing game.
Right.
They put a big emphasis into 7-on-7 this year, and they've improved quite a bit throwing the football with the Williams kid at quarterback. They've got some good receivers. Torrin Teague is a dangerous receiver. They just have a lot of weapons this year. And I think they're just a little bit too much for Randle this year.
What would Randle have to do? Would it have to be a Scribonic 250-yard passing game in order to get this thing going, or
I think Scribonic needs to have a good game, but I think
what brought you there?
I think Landon Williams-Callis is going to have to do some special things this week.
Yeah, and Pac-Man's going to have to get through that line and stop one of their 230-yard rushers.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. They're so big up front; they just get in the way.
Exactly. All right, well, that's it for our Houston squad. But let's take a look at the rest of these games here. We got Friday night. We got Lone Star and Smithson Valley. Smithson Valley has the title, and they have the defense, but Lone Star just refuses to die at all. I mean, Alito had the defense, and they ended up taking 56 points home with them, and they're watching it on TV.
Man, this DFW fans statewide fans. When I watched Lone Star quarterback Trey Wright, who's just a sophomore, you know who he reminds me of?
Who's that? Kyler?
He reminds me of Kyler Murray. And I know it's crazy to say, right? Because we're talking about a sophomore, but his style reminds me of Kyler's style. The things he does, it's like, wow, that looks like Kyler Murray. He's special. Davian Gross, the Florida commit's unbelievable. Smithson Valley's a defending chance, but I just think Lone Star's you beat Highland Park and Alito in back-to-back weeks. You're doing something
what's
special.
That's like 15 rings you knocked off.
That's the Houston equivalent of beating Katy and North Shore in back-to-back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's special stuff. I like Lone Star here. I think it's going to be a big DFW weekend in 6A and 5A.
Yeah,
which means I'm going to be wrong. Which means I'm going to be wrong, but I'm picking a DFW sweep in 6A and 5A.
It's funny you mentioned these names: Trey Wright, you mentioned Landon Williams-Callis, Sarad Baker. All these dudes are dudes we're going to see again next year. That's what makes this football season so great, because we're going to see all the big stars yet again. And in fact, I remember talking to Todd Rogers before their game with Lone Star. He's the Argyle head coach way back in week 1, and he's like, man, we're looking at all this tape of him as a freshman and just trying to figure out why he didn't get called up and play as a freshman. And Jeff Rayburn's like, I'm just biding my time. We'll get him in there. Don't worry about it. And now
it's worked out well.
It's going to be a fun 4 years here, or 3 years. All right, here's Stephenville versus Kilgore. We got the East Texas Debo factor here coming in to take on Stephenville, who gutted it out there. A lot of teams, I don't know if you got a chance to see that game or any.
I did. I watched it last night, yeah.
They had a botched flea flicker that could have just derailed the whole thing. Salina then gets the ball back with a tie game, and they were just running it down, trying to get that last field goal, missed it. A lot of teams would just be like, okay, you know what? We didn't get it. Let's get them in overtime. But they went for it, and they got a 46-yarder. Your thoughts on the Stephenville-Kilgore game?
This is going to be a defensive battle. Kilgore, in the last 4 playoff games, has allowed a total of 3 points.
Yeah.
3 shutouts the last 4 weeks. Stephenville's defense held Bo Bentley and Salina at 21 last week. This is going to be a great football game. Kilgore probably has a little bit of the edge, the skill positions, probably a little more dynamic skill talent. But Stephenville up front. Stephenville brought 10 starters back from their defense last year. They've got some playmakers. They got a 6'5" defensive end who can get after it, a D tackle who was committed to Army, who's probably got some better offers now. This is going to be a physical, another low-scoring physical football game. 2 proud programs from one school communities that are going to bring big crowds to AT&T Stadium. Love this game Friday morning. I lean slightly to Stephenville here, but I think this is going to be a close game.
It should be. And then, as we say, East Texas rules 4A, and nobody rules it more than Carthage, and they're coming in to take on West Orange Stark. Give me a scenario where West Orange Stark wins this game, or you don't have
West Orange Stark's 5'3" bowling ball of a running back, Kelvy Jefferson, just completely goes nuts against Carthage. It keeps Carthage's offense off the field. Part of beating Carthage, you got to keep them off the field.
Yeah.
KJ Edwards and Junior Henderson at wide receiver, the A&M Mississippi State commit. But the problem is running the ball against Carthage is tough because they got Queeve Beck, who's committed to A&M, and Carson Crawford's committed to Colorado. They're really tough. And now Carthage's young secondary is growing up. They had 3 or 4 interceptions last week against Brock. Scott Surratt, the head coach at Carthage. Here's your stat, Wizzy. Okay, Carthage head coach Scott Surratt. His playoff record is 86-8.
Which means he's won more championships and lost playoff games, right?
He's lost playoff games. In state championship games, his record is 10-0.
Jesus.
And here's the other thing. Only one of those 10 games has been a one-score game. 9 of the 10 games have been 2 scores or more. So when Carthage gets here, they beat the brakes off him.
Beat the heck out of you. Take it. Hence the Debo nickname.
The only close was their second state title, I believe, in 2008. They beat Graham 13-12. They stopped a 2-point conversion at the end of the game, and Graham was quarterbacked by Colt McCoy. Or Case McCoy. Case.
One of the McCoy boys.
Yeah, so Carthage gets here. So I think Carthage rolls here. West Orange Stark is kind of, Beaumont area, kind of near Houston, but I think it's all Carthage here.
All Carthage in that one. I already jumped the gun on this game, but your thoughts on Grandview and Yoakum? Grandview edged one out against Peaster, and Yoakum put up 70-something. I think you thought Yoakum would be here after they beat Columbus, right?
Yeah. Yoakum put up a 70 burger. They got a great freshman running back, Jamarcus Robinson. They got SMU commit Xavier Barnett. Yoakum's got a ton of team speed. Grandview, I think, is a year away. Grandview's really young. They got some exciting young talent, but I think Yoakum, they're the team to beat here. I like Yoakum's team speed. I think the Bulldogs get their first state championship here.
And how about Wall against Newton? We talked about how Newton can score and do things. A lot of people up in this side of town thought the Wall Gunner game was the de facto championship, but is that a true statement?
No. Newton here. So I talked to Klein head coach Nick Caduti Friday. I was at Randle Reed for the Shiner Mount Enterprise game, so we were talking, and he watched Newton play the
East Bernard
Thursday night against East Bernard when they beat East Bernard 74-20.
Right. And
he said Newton's got 4 or 5 guys that would start for him right now.
Really?
Like, they are loaded. This Newton team is special. They got a great freshman quarterback who's playing well. Then Kendra Porter, the running back, has been outstanding. Wall's really good, and they beat Gunner last week, and they dethroned Gunner, ending the 22-game playoff winning streak. I just think Newton's playing at a level that's just above. They're playing so well right now. They are a machine. I think the Eagles bring a state title back to the 409 here and get a win. This is a great game. This will be a close, high. I think it's be high scoring, but this is if you pick. I told Tepper this. If I could pick one game to watch this weekend, and that's all I could watch, this would be the game I'd watch.
Nice.
I think it's gonna be a fantastic football game.
That's the nightcap Thursday, right? Or
Thursday nightcap. Yeah, Newton and Wall. I'm taking Newton. So if you can't get to the game Thursday night, pull it up on Victory Plus and watch it. It's gonna be a fun
right
football
there.
game. Yeah.
All right. What about 2A Division I? You got Joaquin against Hamilton. Your thoughts?
Joaquin, come on, Wizzy. Joaquin. You got these Texas towns.
Joaquin.
2 first-timers in this. Hamilton's been playing football since 1914. This is their first time in the state championship.
Oh,
Joaquin's first state championship appearance. Joaquin runs the slot tee. They're hard to stop. If you don't know where Joaquin is, it is as far east as you can go. Joaquin is east of Carthage.
Okay.
So it's right on the Texas-Louisiana border. It's across the river from Logansport, Louisiana, deep East Texas. They run the slot tee. Here's a crazy stat. They played Refugio last week. Refugio scored in the third quarter to go up 20-7. Okay. The time when they scored to go up 20-7, it was 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third quarter. Okay. They take a 20-7 lead. From the last 18 plus almost 19 minutes of football in that game, Refugio ran 5 plays.
Oh, goodness.
So Joaquin outscored him 30-7 down the stretch, 30-8 down the stretch.
They're just milking the clock and getting big yardage on them.
Well, they were milking the clock with the slot T offense. They recovered. Refugio got the ball, scored in 1 play. Then Joaquin goes down and scores to make it 28-21. Then they recover an onside kick, score, and then recover a squib kick and score. So Refugio didn't run another play. They only ran 5 plays the rest of the game. It was crazy.
And it's a wild stat.
So Joaquin's offense is hard to stop because it's a slot T. It's just tough. But Hamilton's really good. They're a complete football team. They got a freshman linebacker, Easton Marwitz, who's really, really good. They got a 6'6" receiver who's outstanding. They got 2 good running backs. Hamilton's a little more complete of a football team. As long as they take care of the football and can get a stop, I don't think Joaquin's going to stop them. I think Hamilton wins a high-scoring game by a touchdown here.
By the way, it took me 15 years to get Refurio right, so you got to give me a little bit more time on.
We'll work with you on it. Yeah, we'll work with Joaquin, the mighty Rams.
Give me another 5 years on that. They got to keep going to getting on a podcast somehow, and we'll figure it out. All right, Munster and Shiner. Munster and Shiner was the game last year. Munster won. I feel like Shiner.
Great game last year.
Yeah. How many touchdowns did Carney get? Like, he got a couple. Yeah, I know he got all of them, didn't he?
I think
got
5. I think 5 of them. Yeah,
he's still back, but I feel like Shiner's playing at a different level. They knocked out our running back.
Yeah, I was at the game. They played in New Caney last week. They played Mount Enterprise, and the Kagan Ash did set the record, but he had to work for it. He had 32 carries to get the record. Shiner's defense is outstanding. Quincy Jones, the running back, Jarvis Williams, the quarterback, are big-time playmakers for the Shiner Comanches. And their defense, the last 2 weeks, they've given up a total of 14 points. They've been locked down on the defensive side of the ball. Munster does have Case and Carney back. Man, they are beat up at the skill positions. They've got a lot of guys. They are banged up. They're gutting it out right now. They gutted out a 3-point win last week. I think they're kind of running on fumes here. I think Shiner gets their lick back. I like Shiner to get the win over Munster here and even that thing out. I think the Comanches just have a little too much on the offensive side of the ball, and their defense, it's just too tough. I like Shiner to get the revenge. It's going to be a competitive game, much like last year's game, but I think the roles get flipped this year.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen a lot at 2A teams to have a bunch of beat-up players because they play every day and go on sport.
Sure.
And they're working during the summer to make ends meet or whatever. It's like, how come you're not hurt? How come you're just flat out exhausted every single time?
I know. These kids are in unbelievable condition. It's crazy.
Well, there's no reason to do this, but since it's our bit, we're going to do it anyway. Where will Matt be stepping out?
I will be at all 10 UIL 11-man state championship games starting Wednesday night at 7, and then I'll do 3 games Thursday, 3 Friday, 3 Saturday. I'll be at AT&T Stadium the entire time. I like to get out of the press box and make a lap around. So if you see me, please say hello. I love it when people who follow the podcast I'm on say hello. It's great. Tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. Just be nice about it if you can.
Yeah, be nice.
I love. It's a great football weekend. I know the games. I've been to the state championships every year for a while, and it's just always fun every year. You're tired afterwards, but and I get it.
You got a little bit of sadness too when you're driving.
Yeah, it's a little bittersweet. Then after Christmas, I get excited for basketball season. I love watching high school basketball, but high school football is my number one love, and it's a little sad, but it's a fun weekend. And like I said, if you can make it up to AT&T for even one day, like Saturday,
sounds like Houston, Saturday's your day. If
you're a Houston football fan, come up Saturday. Make a day of it. You can get a hotel. There's relatively inexpensive hotels you can get. There's discount codes to get a discount off the tickets. If you need a discount code, I can get you one. Get you $5 off through the schools. Every school has a discount code, so you can get in there for $15. Maybe plus the tax, the fees or whatever. Then make a day of it. Come up and watch Houston versus Dallas Invitational. So it's a lot of fun.
It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's a fun weekend. So, and if you can't watch it, in person, get it online on Victory Plus and watch the games and make a weekend of it.
And with the teams we got there, make sure your neck's in good shape because if you're sitting anywhere near the 50, you're gonna be doing this a lot. See these guys take off.
Or looking up at the scoreboard.
Exactly. Oh yeah, you need your neck right for that big scoreboard too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since this is our last podcast, anything in the Houston area football scene did kind of surprise you this year? I know I'll start since I just throwing this on you. Obviously, the play of College Park, Houston Memorial, Waller, some of these teams that had that was kind of mediocre or maybe even below mediocre stepped up and really it did some things. That was a good surprise for me in Houston. Anything that you saw that you want to give credit to?
For sure, Houston, Brooks Hackett, Houston Memorial, what a great job he did. And then, like you said, Kyle Coates at College Park was outstanding. Also, how about Houston Yates, the year they had? I mean, they were this close to playing the third round of the playoffs, man. They were this close, man. They had first-year head coach Jason Lewis had an unbelievable season. Great job. there. So yeah, those are the big things. I'm really excited about realignment. I think realignment's coming up soon. We'll get some.
You got any sneak
change
peeks for us? Who you think?
I mean, UIL. You never know what the UIL is going to do.
Well, not where they're going, but up and down. Right? Obviously, you know the numbers. What's going to shock somebody about the up and down?
Spring Westfield's going to go 5A. I think
that's right.
So
that will shock
That's
people.
going to be a little bit of surprise there. Off the top of my head, I don't think are there any.
Did Barbers Hill go up to 6A?
Barbers Hill's going to 6A.
Okay.
Barring something crazy happening, I think Barbers Hill is going to go 6A. Fort Bend Hightower is right on the line. Like Fort Bend Hightower could be the biggest 5A, the smallest 6A. They're right on the cut line there. So Fort Bend Hightower is probably one that's real nervous right now, just because they're right on that borderline.
When you say nervous, they're nervous about going to 5A, or
well, I think they're nervous
about being a small 6A.
I think they'd like to be going to 5A if they could. It's always better to be the big fish in the small pond than the little fish in the big pond. So I think they're just nervous, because it's close. They're either way. Like North Shore's not nervous, right? North Shore knows they're going to be 6A. It's no big deal. When you're right on that cut line, it could go either way. That's when you get real nervous, and that's when realignment's big. So those are kind of the big storylines I'm following heading into February's realignment.
And by the way, there's a lot of talk in the state. What is the District of Doom? Is it 23 6A, 11 6A? We're finding out Saturday, right? We're going to find this thing out real quick.
Yeah, we're going to settle this thing on the field, and that's what I love about it. We're going to settle this Dallas versus Houston thing this year. Dallas and Houston have this rivalry. I live in the DFW Metroplex, but I travel to Houston a lot and have a ton of respect for the level of football that's played in the Houston area. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. We'll get to show it on the field this year.
Absolutely. All right, I'm looking forward to it. Y'all make sure you watch the games either on Victory Plus or get to the stadium. If you see any of us say what's up to us, I'll be the one limping around the field because my knee's acting up again. Stepp, God bless it. I got to get this thing replaced with some wood or something. I got to have a wooden leg with a kickstand or something.
Get a peg leg.
Yeah, get the old pirate shooter out there.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do something, but you'll see me out there. You'll see Stepp out there. Thanks for joining me this whole year, Stepp. Hopefully we can get you back on next year. We'll do this again.
We'll get contract negotiations right away.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one. I know your team of can we cheat them and how is going to be all over us, but we'll see what happens. All right, Stepp, have fun at the state title games.
See you.